want to ask your name because that would look so bad. Because I didn't look at the card.
Hey, no worries. I'm pretty sure that even if you look at the card, you will have no idea how to say it.
Okay,
I dare you. Go ahead. Try it.
Let's see.
Matic.
Really? That's Matic.
Yeah, I know. Everybody says like they look at it like really.
Alright, Matic. We have here Matic from Dying Light. Matic, what can you tell us about the game and what new information do you need? Because we have seen a lot of trailers, we have seen gameplay as well. We want to get into more nitty-gritty stuff.
Alright, so Dying Light is a first-person action survival game. It's set in really vast open world, infected with zombies. It features, what we say, unprecedented freedom of movement. So pretty much everything that you see, and it seems like you can just grab it, you can just get on top of it, so all maps are open vertically. We have a dynamic day and night cycle, and the important thing is that we actually change the gameplay from day to night. So during the day, you're the master of the situation, so it's relatively safe. But you still got, you still got to keep moving, but you have enough space to explore, to find loot. When the night comes, the infected turn absolutely crazy. So it's pretty much about trying not to die before the sun rises up.
I remember in the E3 trailer that we saw that a guy is running through a neighborhood that looks like favelas in the trailer.
Yes.
And there were zombies chasing him, and at the end he kind of jumps ahead and goes away. How much freedom do you think that a user has? I mean, we have got a lot of games recently which do feature this kind of animations and basically freedom of movement. Can you elaborate on that?
Right, so I dare to say, if you haven't seen a game like this before, you might see this kind of level of freedom in the third-person genre, like Assassin's Creed. But when it comes to first-person, this is something nobody ever did before. And when I mean total freedom, that means you can go wherever you want, wherever you want. So basically, everything that seems like you can get on top of it, you can.
So, is it... Okay, I don't want to draw comparisons.
Sure, go ahead.
Is there... I still have to do it. Can we compare the freedom, let's say, to Mirror's Edge or something like that?
Okay, so that's a good reference point. But if you remember Mirror's Edge, there was actually a certain path that you need to take to be able to do that. We don't do that. It's like, we don't have special... In Mirror's Edge, you had special objects that you could interact with. In our game, you interact with anything. Okay? The way we designed the system was, well, the way we started, like you said, you wanted nitty-gritty details. All right, I'll give it to you. So when we started, we thought, okay, how the whole thing's going to work? So we thought, we're going to put special objects on the scenes that you will be able to grab. But very soon, we ended up with like having 50,000 of objects just for you to be able to climb. And that's a complete disaster because managing 50,000 objects is just, it's impossible. So we kind of screwed because we were, a lot of time into production and we were like, it's not going to work, like it's impossible. So we had to come up with something else, and we built a prototype. Now, one of my friends built a prototype and said like, hey, wouldn't it be cool that you could just grab anything? So we built a prototype that allows us to scan an environment in the real time. And if there's enough space for your hands to grab it, you just do it. Yeah, so, and of course it wasn't perfect right from the start. It took us a long time to iterate and read it again and again and again. But the freedom to create content is really amazing because we just put the geometry on the level and it just works. We can have destructible environment changing it. So for example, you grab into something, somebody kicks it and destroys it, and you're gonna fall because it scans the environment all the time.
See, that's where I was getting at. How destructible is the environment?
Well, there's plenty of objects that you can destroy, like crates, doors, rooftops, stuff like that. Actually, rooftops are really interesting because when you try to jump from really a high distance, you might use the destructible environment to break the fall.
Yes. Okay. So, another very interesting question. which the zombies were, I don't want to take the name again, but zombies in Resident Evil type games.
Yeah.
They chase you down, but as soon as they're about to go, like, crash you, they stop, and then
Right.
are, like, Dying Light's zombie that, you know, forgiving?
No. When they get close, they're going to grab your neck and they're going to bite you and kill you. That depends on the time. But even the most common ones, we call them biters from biting. So yeah, if you stand in one place for too long, they're just going to overwhelm you. They're going to grab you. They're going to eat you. So you got to constantly stay on the move, even with the most simple enemy. Even the basic enemies, they can climb too. So like if you go on top of the car, they're going to come right after you. You cut their legs off, they're going to still be coming. So you know the only way to kill them is go for the head. So
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Okay, another thing, when we talk about survival,
yes.
what are we talking about? I mean, is it just ammunition? Is it energy or HP?
Right, so yeah, it is HP, but we also think about the resources that we have. You know, most of the time they're pretty sparse. So even with and your weapons degrade, so you might get a destroyed weapon. So every time you end up in some kind of situation, you have to ask yourself, like, okay, am I ready for this? Should I get into that combat? Do I have enough health? Are my weapons good? Like, can I make it? Like, because if I lose my weapon, if I destroy my weapon on this group, I might not have a weapon to find another one. It means, do I have time to do it? Because if the sun is already going down, that means I may end up in a situation when it's all night around me and I'm pretty screwed. So maybe not this time. I'm just going to avoid that situation.
So we have safe zones.
Yes, there are safe zones where you can climb. There are safe zones that you can establish for additional gains. For example, because if you're killed, you respawn in that safe zone. So the more safe zone you establish, that means you can respawn closer to the place where you died.
And we have a story guiding.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is a story. They'll take you through the events. We're not diving into too many details just yet, but later this year we will introduce, the story and the characters.
Quick time events? Are there any quick time events?
I guess sort of. For example, when you're being grabbed by a zombie, the way you get out of that situation is, for example, you tap tape. Or later when you're on special abilities, you do it really quickly, you tap LB and then do a really fast kick. But we don't have like QTE sequences, something like that.
You knew where I was getting at. Okay. The last question. Is there a release date?
Yes.
And does it do 60 FPS at 1080?
Hopefully it will.
Okay. You're targeting that right now. You're targeting that right now.
Yes. It's coming out February 2015, and it's going to be Xbox One,